so I don't forget. All right. Well, hello, everybody. I hope that everybody's doing well. Let's go ahead and get today's stream started. And before I really get too far into it, you guys always follow after I've turned off the stream. And I don't get it, but I appreciate it. So it's always been fumbles. Thank you so much for following the channel yesterday. I really appreciate it. For all those of you watching later on YouTube, thank you to all of you that have subscribed. It's been fantastic, and it's been really great seeing so many people over there. In case you guys aren't aware, I am working through creating a series of tutorial videos over on YouTube. In case you do have questions about some of the new features in 50.10 or anything like that. So if there's anything that you want me to cover specifically, please just ask. I'm happy to try to do whatever I can. I'm not going to make any promises. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm a casual dude who's just trying to do casual things in a casual game. And I don't know. Okay, so sorry about that. Let's go ahead and jump in. So the last time we were playing, we went through a couple of scenarios with this particular mission. Oh my goodness, I forgot how many scenarios we had. Well, all right then. So we do have one pending. It's a decoy interception. Give me half a second here. All right. So, decoy interception. Your mission is to intercept and engage enemy forces to draw them away from the primary objective. Our intelligence indicates they are moving to secure a critical target, but by forcing an engagement, you will divert their attention and disrupt their plans. Your task is to hold them in combat for a specific duration, or if the opportunity presents itself, destroy 75% of their forces to rout them completely. This battle is about control and endurance. The longer you keep the enemy occupied, the more time our allies will have to complete the objective elsewhere. Expect a determined enemy response, as they will attempt to break through and reestablish their mission. You must balance aggression with resilience. Hold them long enough or cripple them so severely that they can no longer continue the fight. Should you succeed in routing 75% of their forces, we will seize control of the battlefield at the end of the engagement. This will allow us to recover any remaining assets and deny the enemy any chance of regrouping. Whether by sheer endurance or decisive firepower, your success here will determine the outcome of the operations across this sector. Stand firm, draw them in, and ensure they never reach their goal. If they break, the field is ours. All right, so there's an enemy commander spotted. There's also some allied mechs coming in. All right. Cool. Recon overestimated enemy strength. A group of enemy units are not present. Neato. That means they had a truly terrible roll. Okay. So, yeah, they're about to get rolled. Like, really badly. Really, really badly. So let's go ahead and take a quick gander here. Off stream, I really am going to add those force icons, because it makes me sad to see a blank gray square. Anyways, so we've got Bravo Lance that's got 5,400 BV. We've got Alpha Lance that's got 8,000 BV. I mean, oh, DMJ, say thank you so much for the follow. I really appreciate it. And then, even our Recon Lance, if it weren't all ultra green and green folks, then I think they could even deal with the situation. But alas, I think what we'll end up doing is we'll deploy Bravo Lance for our decoy interception, and then give it a day, and then we'll use Alpha Lance to pop on over and finally deal with the hostile base of operations. I think that's going to be the plan. That's going to be the play. Now, let's just make sure that none of those pilots are downed, and they're not. I thought I remember. Do I have any mechs that are just chilling anywhere? I have a Victor, but he's not coming along for this. All right. Let's go ahead and deploy Bravo Lance, deploy. Bravo. Go for it. Confirm. We don't need any additional reinforcements. We're fine. And since this is happening today, 01 of 26, it's 01 of 26. Let's go ahead and start game. This is just saying all the things that I already read. And since I know that we're going to control the battlefield at the end of this, let's go ahead and deploy our salvage lance. And as always, grab some green folks who don't have any units to maintain. 2 should be more than enough. And let's go. If between our allies and us having, what, 13,000 BV against their 2,800 BV is not enough, I don't know what is. I really don't. It'll load one day. There we go. All right, we'll let all of our friends load in. The enemy's bringing along a foot platoon, a crusader, a guillotine, and a goblin. Those nasty little goblins. All right, let's just take a look at the map. It'll be fine. All right, well, I think that we can successfully destroy 75% of them. What do you think? All right, the first turn, we win initiative, which I don't actually care about. Not that far. I think the big thing that we just have to do here is close the distance as fast as possible and then punch them in the face. So we'll get our trebuchet, we'll get our griffin. The big thing is I just don't want to have to deal with running over any rubble. The crab can join, and then finally our Phoenix Hawk. We lost initiative, but we do. Oh boy, hello, Power. How are you doing? All right, let's go ahead and just trundle our way forward. Good. Well, I'm happy you could join tonight. You haven't really missed anything. We just had the decoy interception where between our 5,000 and some BV and the Allies' 7,700 BV, we have to take out 2,300 BV. That's it. That's all we have to do. I'm feeling pretty confident about this one. Yes, Jace, thanks for joining. Yeah, definitely nice to have a mismatch in our favor. To start out, I've been mostly taking, pirate hunting missions because those are fairly easy. And it gets your pilots some experience. It gets you some cash. It lets you just kind of get your feet under you a little bit. All right, we won initiative, which is pretty great. And we'll just keep trundling on forward. I'm really not too terribly worried about any of these folks because they're also terrible pilots. All right, well, they are finally within range, which is pretty neat. But alas, we can't shoot. Oh, no, I forgot it was a moderate gale and it was dusk. No, I forgot to re-roll that. Oh, well, it'll be fine. So nothing really to do this turn because, I can't be bothered to read things in the mission description, apparently. We'll fire one round to the Crusader, see what happens. Naturally, we miss. Everybody's heat is fine. The wind is blowing. We lost initiative, but we won against our allies, which doesn't matter right now. Even though each of their mechs individually is, going to outweight us, going to outclass us in terms of weight, I'm still not actually that concerned. Oh, look, it's a happy little guillotine. So it's a 13 on the medium lasers, it's an 11 on the LRMs, or a 10 on the LRMs. Mr. Crusader, I have a present for you. Tens, yes, I will take that. And then also tens. We'll just do one large laser this time around. And then for our Phoenix Hawk, a 6 on the large laser, and we can get a little toasty with a medium laser. Let's see what happens. So the Trebuchet fired, missed. Ooh, I think that might have gotten him a little warm, actually. My bad. My 7-year-old watched me playing MegaMek this evening, asked me to teach her. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Yes. Yes, that is where you pull out that, like the good old introduction box set, and you go to town. Yeah, the beginner box. And, even if all you're doing is like a one-on-one with a wasp and a locust, that's still a blast. So the Phoenix Hawk did manage to land a couple of hits with a large laser and a medium laser going to the right leg and the left arm of the Crusader. Everybody missed otherwise, which is unfortunate. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I've said it before, but the first time I played, I think I was 10 or 12, and it was my brother teaching me. And then we would play intermittently throughout. And before we knew that MegaMek existed, we actually used Roll20, and we would export maps or import maps into Roll20. And then we had a separate page set up so that we could actually determine, based on distances and elevations, if you could actually see a mech or if it was under partial cover. It was pretty neat. And then we discovered that MegaMek had existed for like 10 years, and we felt kind of silly, which is fine. All right, now we slowly trundle forward. Yeah, tabletop sim Battletech for sure. But, the thing I love about MegaMek is it does all of the calculations for you. You're not sitting there, trying to figure out what your movement modifier is, and then all of this other stuff. When you're playing a lance-on-lance battle on tabletop Battletech, it's not uncommon for an entire round to take 45 minutes. Versus, I've just burned through, 3 rounds, 4 rounds without a problem? I'll take that. You got to deal with the random number generator associated with, MegaMek, but that's okay. Started playing with battle droids. Nice. All right. We should probably just go ahead and deal with this goblin. That would be the smart move-ish. Smart-ish move. Yeah, we'll just do that. And we'll hop on over. That way we can... yeah, that'll be fine. Oh my goodness. Could you imagine? Every heat sink is a one-time use. That would be awful. The attrition of the games would be horrible. Yeah, after 2 rounds you were exploding. Yeah. Fire one medium laser and run, and instantly you're rolling for engine shutdown. Nothing could possibly go wrong. All right, we'll get warm again with the trebuchet. He'll be fine. It's a cold planet. Okay, so it's a 7 on the guillotine or an 8 on the goblin. We'll help our buddy out with the guillotine, especially since I think that's in... Oh, it's in the sweet spot for the LRMs. Absolutely. So medium laser and a large laser. That should be fine. I mean, in fairness, almost every fight in Battletech does devolve into hand-to-hand combat. It depends. So if I need to really cause problems for somebody, or I need to get somebody out of the fight as fast as possible, I'll go to 9 over without too much hesitation. On average, I'll just do like 6, 5, 6 heat over, and I'll chill there if I'm, staying close. But I'll go to 9 over without thinking too much. Every now and then I'll go to like 10 or 11 over, but I kind of pucker. Yeah, PPC awesomes. Those get warm really fast. The Goblin Mist Trebuchet only hits with one of the medium lasers into the right leg of the Guillotine. Guillotine missed with everything, thankfully. Griffin missed with everything. Womp, womp. Crab also missed with everything. Crusader missed with everything. Phoenix Hawk also missed with everything. Oof. All right, all I want to do is kick a guillotine. That's all I want to do. Yes, please do that. All right, kick the guillotine in the left leg. He stays standing. That's fine. Yeah, no. When you're doing dusk or dawn and gusting wind, everybody just sucks. But we did win initiative, so that's a bonus. That's a plus. Look, I don't actually have to kill them. I just have to make them run away. So if you shoot at them a whole bunch, they run away, right? Right? That's how this works. Oh, look. Their reinforcements arrived. 1 platoon of infantry. Don't worry, guys. I'll save you. Let's just get the goblin out of the fight, and then we can focus on everybody else. Yeah, definitely make you value pulse lasers a lot more. But I do definitely feel that clam pulse lasers are just horrendously overpowered in almost every regard. Oh man, what is a mother to do? We'll go ahead and back the Phoenix Hawk up. And then we'll see what happens. Oh, the goblin decided to move there. That was nice of him. What does he have on the front? A machine gun. That's fine. Well, we should be able to turn a little something like that. That was a choice from the guillotine. That's fine, though. All right, LRMs will not be the play to make here. 8s on the medium lasers. Oof. Forgot that the trebuchet has a 4-5 pilot. All right, so a large pulse laser. Great. And that will be that. Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, that is more true to the ideas behind like all these contracts and everything like that. You're living in a world or at a universe where the corporations have all the power, where these huge houses have all of the power, and you are but a little pawn playing their little game. And so they're going to give you the scraps. Why? Because they're the ones that hired you. They're the ones who found the job. They're the ones who are taking the risk and paying you. You're just there to kill people. That is your only job. Go there and kill people. I honestly have not read very much into the new playtest rules. I have not had time, unfortunately. It's on my to-do list, but there's a lot of stuff on my to-do list. All right, so the Goblin fired, missed. The Enforcer missed. Trebuchet only hit with one medium laser. Guillotine, ouch. Just demolishes that left leg on the Phoenix Hawk and then puts one into the left torso. Fortunately missed with the SRM-6. Wolverine firing into the Guillotine, hits with the AC-5 Flechette, but misses with everything else. The Griffin hits the Goblin with a large pulse. The Phoenix Hawk decides to, ouch, just hose the infantry platoon with a machine gun. Crab hits the Goblin with a medium laser and a large laser, both going straight into the turret. Crusader missed. The Quick Draw missed, and the Phoenix Hawk can't hit anything. Needs a 5, rolls a 3, needs a 5, rolls a 4, needs a 5, rolls a 5. Ouch. Feels bad. All right, but the Phoenix Hawk does stay standing. I read one of them. I read one of the write-ups. I think it was for playtest 1. You're right. You don't have to give it back if you're a pirate, which you can do now. You can do that, should you so desire. Okay, you can't do anything, but you can. All right, Trebuchet kicks the Guillotine in the right leg. Quick Draw steps on some soldiers. The Crab kicks the Goblin, which takes some minor motive damage. The Guillotine was kicked, falls, lands on its right side, doing 5 damage to the right arm, 3 damage to the right torso, no crits, and the pilot avoids taking damage. I think running a pirate campaign would be kind of interesting. It's really interesting that you can do that now, and that they have that available for you. So we won initiative, and we won among our team as well. We'll see what the Goblin ends up doing. It's probably going to crawl under the Griffin again. Yeah. And, it's so funny because when I first started playing MekHQ or using MekHQ, I think it was version 47, the only thing you could do was a mercenary campaign. That was all that was covered. But if there's a damage cap on ammo, then I can't make them go super boom. Besides, what is more fun than running around on a box of nitro? Nothing could possibly go wrong. Yeah, machine gun ammo is a bit of a... It's a bad idea. Machine guns are bad ideas, except when you need them. And then you just, well, need them. Yeah, we'll do the large pulse into the goblin. And then it would be a 9 into the guillotine. Yeah, fine, whatever. Forgot to take off the setting where your primary target doesn't have to be in the forward arc. Couple large laser. Well, actually, when you're on 8s. Oh, no, that'll be fine. We can go 1 over. It'll be okay. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, we can go 3 over. That'll be fine. All right, so the Enforcer missed. Trebuchet missed. Guillotine hits Trebuchet with a 1 medium laser on the right torso. The Wolverine hits the Guillotine with the AC-5 flechette, doing 2 damage to the right torso. Medium laser on the right torso. SRM-6 hits with 2 Inferno missiles. That was a choice. Griffin misses with everything. Crab misses. Ally Phoenix Hawk does hit the Guillotine in the right arm with a large laser. The Crusader into the Griffin. Hits with a machine gun into the left leg. SRM-6 loaded with Deadfire. Hits with 4 of the missiles. Ouch. Hitting the left arm, right torso, and the center torso. And then again with 3 more missiles into the right torso, left arm, and right arm. Ouch. Then the quick draw. Oof. Why are you firing fragmentation ammo? That's horrible. The Phoenix Hawk does hit the Guillotine with the medium laser in the left arm and a large laser in the left torso. Griffin stays standing. Guillotine falls down again. Goes onto its front, taking 5 damage to the left leg, 3 damage to the center torso. But the pilot still doesn't take any damage. Okay, cool. So let's kick him. And then we can kick a Crusader. And that should be about it. So the Phoenix Hawk steps on a couple of people. The Trebuchet kicks the Guillotine in the left torso, critting on 2 heat sinks. It's also down to internal structure only on that left torso. The Crab hits the Crusader in the right leg. It's down to 3 armor. Crusader then falls onto its rear, damaging its left leg and its right arm, but the pilot avoids damage. Guillotine's at 10 heat. Crusader's at 5 heat. We're just chilling at 1 or 3 heat for most things. But we lost initiative. Sad day. So we'll go ahead and back our Griffin on up. Just a touch. I actually do want our allies to kill the infantry because it's kind of annoying having them as an initiative sink. Okay. All right, you want to run straight up to the Griffin? That's fine. That's cool with me. All right, nothing could possibly go wrong. Well, a large pulse laser, and we'll eat some LRMs that way. Go ahead and go 5 over on heat this turn since we're firing into the rear arc. And then large and a medium. All right, so the Enforcer puts an AC-10 into the Guillotine center torso rear. The Trebuchet lands 2 of the medium lasers, 1 into the left arm, 1 into the left torso. Oh, yeah, that's the one I read actually. Was the changes to the hit tables, and I read both of the summaries on that. The one that was both for, and then the one that was against. And I kind of had to side with the one that was against it because it made a lot of sense as to why they were against it. Part of me really wanted to be for it because like it makes sense then if you can get on somebody's side and just lay into their side, why wouldn't I just demolish them? But then it works both ways. I haven't looked at that one yet. All right, the Wolverine hits the guillotine with a couple of things, hitting the right arm, right leg, and then also tries to light him on fire. Hitting with 5 Inferno missiles, the Griffin hits the Crusader in the left leg with a large pulse laser. Ouch. The guillotine misses everything. Phoenix Hawk, our ally Phoenix Hawk, misses. The Crab hits the Crusader with a large laser into the left torso, large laser into the left arm, and then misses the medium laser. Sad day. Oh, I like this. Allied quick draw into the guillotine, into the center torso, 2 crits, both on the engine. That dude's going to be hot. That's 2 engine hits plus an additional 10 heat from the Inferno missiles plus whatever he fired. The dude's going to be at like 20 heat. He's going to be having a bad day. And then the Phoenix Hawk puts a large laser into the center torso and the medium laser into the left arm. Crusader puts a machine gun into the left arm of the Griffin. So the Crusader took 20 damage, stays standing. Guillotine took 40 damage, stays standing. But we're still going to kick him. We're just going to kick everybody. So the Phoenix Hawk continues to step on infantrymen. The Trebuchet kicks the guillotine into the right leg, critting on the upper leg. It's down to 7 internal structure. The Crusader kicks the Griffin into the left leg. It's down to 3 armor. Griffin kicks the Crusader into the left leg. It's down to internal structure, and we crit on the hip. Sad for him. The Goblin takes a smack to the rear. It's down to 0 armor, and then the Phoenix Hawk kicks the left leg of the guillotine, critting with no effect. The Griffin, it fell. Wow, that's just bad luck. So, yeah, it fell onto its front, damaging the left arm, critting, blowing off the left arm, and then doing some damage to the left torso as well. But the pilot avoids damage, which is neat. Crusader ended up falling. Yeah, this is bad. This is not good. This was not how it was supposed to go. Crusader ends up falling, taking some damage to the right leg, and then also the left arm. That pilot also avoids damage. Guillotine ends up falling eventually, falling onto his left side, damaging the center torso for a total of 8 damage. But, geez, nobody is taking damage this time. Yeah, it was the left arm. Yeah. The guillotine is at 24 heat. Oof. Avoids shutdown and avoids an ammo explosion. Boy is hot. We win initiative. So the guillotine is immobile now, which is great. So the Trebuchet can just kind of stand there. Let's move the Phoenix Hawk first, actually. So we'll skip your movement as well. Oh, I think you're right. I think it did shut down. Hold on, let's take a look. Kerpow. Oh, you're right. Needed an 8. It rolled a 7. It shut down. Whew. Sad day. Sad day for you, bud. You know, it's not a bad argument. All right. Can the Griffin stand up? Need a 6. Can he do it? He did it. So the Crusader tries to get up, falls down on its right side, damages the right leg and the head. Pilot takes a hit. And then also, because he fell, he had to roll. And he also took a hit, so he's up to 2 hits now. The Griffin does stand up, rolling a 6. That was close. Okay, so medium laser, it is a 7 to hit the head, or with the Phoenix Hawk, it's a 5. Let's give it a whirl. I think that if they made the change, I think you would have to narrow the side arcs. That's just my opinion. But, you know, I don't know exactly how you would do that, but you have to make it more narrow, or you just have to increase the likelihood of a front or back hit in the side arcs. Just my 2 cents. We'll go ahead and put the LRMs towards the Goblin. Fair. See, it's been long enough since I've played the tabletop version that true. I don't have that stuff memorized anymore. And then I've been so indoctrinated by MegaMek that I don't know them for the most part. Yeah, we'll go 6 over. That's fine. So the Phoenix Hawk does manage to put 1 medium laser into the head. It's down to 4 armor. That pilot takes 1 hit. AC 10 into the guillotine from the Enforcer, blowing off the left arm, destroying the left torso, putting a little bit into the center torso, and then also puts a large laser into the right torso. This poor little guillotine. Trebuchet missed with everything. Wolverine puts some more stuff into the center torso because that's about all that's left. And then also, that poor guillotine is still getting hot from Inferno missiles. The Griffin puts a large pulse laser into the right arm of the Crusader. Ah, good. The Phoenix Hawk shoots the guillotine in the head, killing the pilot. Cool. I'm okay with that. Crab puts one large laser into the Crusader. It's down to 3 internal structure on the left leg. The Quick Draw puts some more stuff into the guillotine. Now we just have to not kill the guillotine. I was playing a game on the campaign I play off stream yesterday, and one of the enemies, they had taken like 1 medium laser hit, and I can't remember what the mech was. It might have been a Warhammer. Dropped 2 PPCs into it, and it rolled 12s on both the PPC hits, and just took the head right off of. What was it? It was an assault mech of some sort. It wasn't a Victor, I don't think. It was something else. It was a Banshee. Took the head right off a Banshee. Because pretty much nobody can take 20 points of damage to the head and come out of that on top. All right, so we kick the rear left torso of the Crusader, and then we kick the center torso, critting, but not really doing a whole lot, honestly. That poor little infantry platoon is just getting demolished over there. And we end up losing initiative. Oh, poor guy. He knocked himself out, I think. Through armor crits can be some of the most enraging things ever. Just truly awful. But they can also work in your favor. But that is the definition of a golden BB. All right, so the Crusader ejected. Oh, went right into the golden band. Not that we'll be able to hit him, but, you know, we can try. All right, so it's an 11 for the large pulse and an 11 for the LRM. LRM ammo costs money, so we'll do the large pulse. And then let's put a single large laser in his direction. Let him know that we're thinking of him. And then a 10. Gauss rifles can be mean, man. Everybody missed. Literally everyone. No one hit anything. Oh my goodness. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. All right, and so with the infantry platoon being killed, that means that we hit the victory condition. So we'll hit / victory and go Power Ranger. All right, cool. So we'll hit done. Oh, there was one campaign that I was playing that every single scenario I went into, whoever my best pilot was, died within 2 rounds. Just for stupid reasons. Like they tripped and they fell and they critted on their own head. For no good reason. It's just that's how it went. We'll do that. Done. We retain the battlefield. So the Griffin took moderate damage because, you know, arm blown off, badness. But otherwise, the Goblin, even though it was crippled, did escape. Fine, whatever. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and give credit of the Goblin to the Crab, and the Guillotine, that goes to the Trebuchet. Foot Platoon, we don't get to claim anything on. I picked up the first Battletech novel that I listened to. Yes, we're going to claim this one. Was actually the Grey Death Legion books. And I've listened to all 3 of those, but I haven't listened to a whole lot else, honestly. All right. So somebody wants to come over to us, and then we can recover that. We can recover this. Sure, we can recover a foot platoon. Although, ironically, that would actually be valuable to take. So do we want the Guillotine or the Crusader? That is the question. I think the Guillotine is what I would actually more feel like. It's the one I prefer. It needs more repairs, but that's fine. The only downside... Oh, it's got the double heat sinks. No, it doesn't. No, it's just got 22 heat sinks. So, yeah, I think we'll take the Guillotine. Which... Then we can also take the Crusader. That's fine. Okay, cool. So there's all that fun stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at all of these dudes. All right, optimize assignments. We will I want to know who wanted to come on over to our side. So it was one of the soldiers, and he's an elite soldier at that. But he is blind and has a compound fracture. We'll come back around to this. Does anybody have a bounty? They do. Okay. All right. And let's go ahead and assign a couple of mech techs. As soon as we get done with this camp or this mission, we really need to get more mech techs. We're gonna spend some time in port and just hire some people because we need the help. Whoops, nope, don't do that. Yeah, it's probably cheaper to just get new soldiers most of the time, unless you're really attached to them. All right, that, as they say, is that. Let's go ahead and take a minute and start working on all of these. Now, what do we not already have in transit? Oh, good. Mech sensors. Naturally. All right. Cool beans. Let's go ahead and advance the day. We'll give it like 2 days, and then we're going to go ahead and assault that mech base of operations. Let's go ahead and jump on over to here. All right, friends. Start mass repair and salvage. We should be able to do most of the... we need to buy those. 65 ton. My 65 ton legs. There. And then the right leg. Got it. Oh, that actually sounds really good. Great. Now I have to see if they have that on Audible. Thanks. All right. One more. And you know what? We're going to let Bravo and the recovery lance come back, and then we're going to assault that base. That's the move. Yeah, it was, what was it? When you read the Gray Death novels, you know, the first 2 books, the primary mech that he pilots is like a Shadowhawk. And he's constantly talking about how he's going to be going into, like he's having to stop the mech from shutting down and all this other stuff. It doesn't generate that much heat, bro. Yeah. Okay. All right, everybody came home. All right, now that everybody is home, let's go ahead and deploy Alpha Lance. Nothing could possibly go wrong. You know, I just realized I think I forgot to deploy Tango Lance. Oops. All right, we'll go ahead and commit. That might be. All right, so base of operations, hostile extract. So we've got Alpha Lance hanging out. We also have an attached Battle Master. The enemy defenses will have a heavy flak turret, medium flak turret, and a light flak turret. That's fun. The enemy Op 4 will be bringing along an Urban Mech, a Power Band Loader Mech, Archer, Panther, Orion, and another Power Band Loader Mech. And then additionally, they will have some additional fixed defenses, such as a light missile turret, light bombard turret, light flak turret, heavy missile turret, and a light flak turret. And then our allies are bringing a Warhammer, Ostrak, Rifleman, and a Victor. Cool. I don't want the rain. Light rain, fine. All right, so a hidden enemy-controlled facility has been identified for destruction. This installation is too valuable to remain in enemy hands, and its defenders must be eliminated to ensure it is no longer operational. Your mission is to destroy at least 75% of the defending forces. This is not an occupation. This is an eradication. The priority is destruction, not capture. Do not concern yourself with securing the facility. The enemy will fight to protect the installation, but their defenses will crumble under sustained pressure. Crush their forces, level their defenses, and ensure that when this battle is over, the facility is of no use to anyone. The victor will control the battlefield at the end of the engagement. If the facility remains salvageable after the assault, we will destroy it. The enemy will be left with nothing but ruins. Execute with overwhelming force and leave no doubt who owns this battlefield. All right, the enemy force appears to be well equipped. The facility will be destroyed if 75% of the turrets are destroyed. Cool. So what we need to do is we need to destroy or rout 75% of the pirate Op 4. Nothing else really matters. That's the only thing that gives any scenario victory points. So that's the only thing that matters. Jace, I normally stream 2 to 3 days a week. If you look down in the description below, then you'll see what my schedule is for this week. Most of the time, I normally announce it on streams when my next stream is going to be. So if you're ever like confused, you can also normally go to the end of the last stream. I normally say when the next one will be. But the next stream this week will be on Wednesday, which also brings me, I've been streaming for about an hour. So if you've been enjoying this content and you haven't already, please go ahead and hit the little follow button down there. If you're watching this on YouTube, go ahead and hit subscribe on the channel if you haven't already, and like the video if you've been enjoying this. And if you're watching on YouTube later on, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. But yeah, that, as they say, is that. I want to look because I forgot. The youngster, thank you so much for following. All right, take it easy, Jace. All right. Nice. Okay. Let's take a look at tanks. Okay, good. I thought all my recovery vehicles were there, but I couldn't remember. Cool. Now, with that, I might end up bringing a couple of extra stuff for recovery in this one. Okay, so this is on February 1st that all this is happening. So if I haven't already, we'll do that and we'll advance a day. So I think what I might do, probably either starting next stream or the stream after that, I think I might go ahead and pull down the most recent nightly, because I think they have finally implemented all of these buttons actually doing something. So if you didn't know, the daily activity log, instead of being one giant wall of text, everything is going to be broken out into all of the different little bits. So like all of your people who need medical attention will be here, so on and so forth. And it'll be a lot easier to read instead of just trying to scroll through and find what you want. All right, there is that one. Go ahead and repair a couple of things. Uh-oh, employee turnover check. Nobody wants to leave. Great. All right. So enemy reliability is +2. Your performance over the last month was rated as a decisive victory. We rolled a 10. The enemy forces are wavering. The enemy is in a dire state, with most of their force being destroyed or incapacitated. Their ability to fight is severely compromised, and morale is near breaking. Good deal. Let's see what they have to say. It's a 5.5 pilot. I mean, I guess. It doesn't hurt anything to have an extra pilot, I guess. Okay, fine. All right, so they are wanting to pay 20,000 C-bills for a couple of folks, to include the one who's going to defect to us. That's fine. Oh, it's our commander's birthday. Happy birthday, buddy. You're 27. You are still living an extravagant lifestyle that we are paying 25,000 C-bills a month for. Okay, great. Special bonus, Ronin. All right, there's all of that fun stuff. We got our 1.7 million C-bills. We were debited a total of about 600 or so thousand, 650,000 for costs. So we hold on to about 1.2 million C-bills. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the unit market here. So there's a few vedettes. There's a Stormfuhrer heavy tank, which isn't too shabby. Saladin, there's Prime Mover, Partisan heavy tank, a couple LRM carriers, which wouldn't be too bad. A heavy battle mech recovery unit. Yes, please. I'm going to go ahead and get it. And then a couple of battle mech recovery units or vehicles. We'll hold off on those. What do we have for mechs? So there's a Wasp, Stinger, Stalker. Stalker wouldn't be too bad. A Shadowhawk and a Firestarter. I think we'll just hold off because we got enough stuff to repair. Repair bay. Hold on. Why did our force reputation go to -1? Stand by. Oh, I just don't have enough technicians. That's why. That's fair. I don't disagree with them. I don't think I have enough technicians either. Cool. So now it is time for this. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and start. Commence drop. We'll go ahead and grab recovery. And then I'm also going to grab we'll grab the Tango Lance because that'll give us 2 more picks. Yeah. I'll give us 2 more, and then we will grab a couple, like 3 dudes. That should give us plenty of time to work on stuff. Okay, and let's go ahead and jump on in. Yeah, well, it depends on. So I'll have a video coming out in probably like a day or 2. I'm having the devs just look over it to make sure that there's nothing horribly wrong with it. But it looks at the at contracts and like how generation essentially happens. And so yeah, if you're coming from 50.07 and you were in the middle of a contract when you made the transition, you might just need to either finish out the contract or, just kind of terminate the contract essentially, and then you can go into the next contract. Yeah. And, if you want to, you can also change the delivery timescale from months to weeks if you don't want to have to wait months for everything. All right, let's just make sure that the map isn't something weird. Ooh, we get volcanoes. I like it. Done. And we lost initiative, but that's fine. Yeah, that's the advantage of having the resupply mechanic that's like left over from early StratCon, is that you can prioritize every month getting ammo, and then hopefully, fingers crossed, you get a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. especially if you're on like a main planet or a planet that would otherwise have good industrial resources, I think it's reasonable to shorten delivery times for a lot of things to weeks or even potentially days. You know, if it's just like ammo, okay, I'm going to order a bunch of ammo. I'm going to shorten it to days because I'm on a heavily industrialized planet. It just makes sense that I would have these things available to me. Yeah, sure. Why not? We'll put you right there. Oh, that's neat. Okay, so let's take a look here. So they are double stacked on a CF of 120. I don't actually have to kill any of this. I don't love this. This is going to hurt. That's not a terrible idea. You know, essentially you're paying a premium for expedited delivery to a combat zone. Shush. How far do those? That's just barely in range. Yeah, we can do that. That'll be fine. There are a lot of options available to you. I think it's just a matter of what you want to do for your game and how you kind of want to role play it. Because at the end of the day, a lot of this stuff is just how do you role play it? All of those turrets are just going to be annoying more than anything else, I think. It's going to take so long to knock down those buildings. Or do I just... I mean, I can't even shoot the building because it's blocked by line of sight. That's annoying. All right, well, the Panther it is. Oh, yeah. Well, when you upgraded, it should have given you the option, I thought, of it giving you salvage vehicles. But yeah, it's definitely reasonable when you upgrade if it was in the middle of a contract to just have some recovery vehicles up here and the appropriate crews. It was really annoying during one of the nightlies before 50.10 was released. They would auto-generate. It gives you 4 to start off with. So they would auto-generate the like recovery vehicles and everything else. They would auto-generate all of the crews to go along with them, but they wouldn't generate mechanics. And so you would have all this stuff, but no mechanics to go with it, which was just, it was annoying. There was no other way about it. It was annoying. That's annoying. Okay, lots of things are going to be happening. Light flak turret missed. Light flak turret hits with one of the longbow 10s with 2 pellets, doing 1 damage to center torso and 1 damage to the center torso for the Wolverine. The Awesome hits with one of his 2 ERPPCs, going into the center torso of the Panther. Light flak turret misses the Marauder. Our Wolverine, firing at the Power Man, missed. The light missile turret, firing at the Marauder, hits with 3 missiles, doing 3 damage to the left leg, otherwise misses. The medium flak turret fires with its LB2X, hits with 2 pellets, putting 1 into the right torso and then 1 into the head that gets rerolled with edge, doing 1 damage to the right arm. And then otherwise we get hit with another 3 pellets, doing 1 damage to center torso, left torso, and center torso. Panther fires PPC and misses. The Vindicator misses. Light bombard turret misses. Heavy missile turret misses. Heavy flak turret hits with the LB5 with more of its cluster ammo. So does 1 damage to the left arm, 1 damage to the left torso, 1 damage to the left leg of that Marauder. And then also hits with 3 of the 5 LRMs. Would have hit the head, but gets rerolled going into the right leg. And that's it. I think I know. So we won initiative, which is great. I think I know the answer here. And the answer is going to be that we need to probably go along the south side of this mountain where we can engage these dudes without getting harassed by all of this crap for the most part. The trick. You know, I really don't care if the Battle Master gets destroyed because it's not even my mech. So it can trundle on up and just unload everything into a wall, 1 wall at a time, and just generally kick walls. What are they going to do? Yell at me? So we'll start moving everybody south. We'll go around the south side of the mountain and hope for the best. So Panther is an 8, Orion's an 8, Archer is an 8. Everybody's an 8. We already hit the Panther once. We might as well hit him again, I hope. And then for the Wolverine, since you're already a little toasty, we'll only do 1 ER large laser towards the Archer. We're probably not going to hit him anyways. The Vindicator, I'll set Enforcer. So it's a 7 on the Orion or a 9 on everything else. We'll take the 7 on the Orion. And then the LRMs are also a 7. Heck yeah, man. Let's do it. And we're finally in range for the PPCs on the Marauder. So we'll put 2 PPCs out there. Whoops, got a twist. It's a 9 to hit. We can risk it for the biscuit. And then otherwise, the Battle Master can put a PPC and just the little PPC towards the Power Man. So the Awesome hits with 1 of the PPCs going into the right arm of the Panther. It's now without any armor over there. Panther firing misses. Our Vindicator hits the Orion with its ER PPC into the right torso. And then the LRM-5 hits with 3 of the 5, doing 3 more damage to the right torso. Heavy flak turret hits the Battle Master with an LRM, doing 3 damage to the left leg, and then 3 more damage to the left arm. The light bombard turret misses. Our Marauder misses. The heavy missile turret firing at the Battle Master hits with... Oh, it's firing Artemis ammo. That's fun. Hits with 4 of the missiles, doing 4 damage to the left torso. The Orion, oof, hits the Marauder with an AC-10 going into the center torso, and the LRM-15 hits with 9 missiles, doing 5 damage to the left torso and 4 damage to the right arm. Archer fires the Awesome and misses. The Battlemaster misses. Sad. But we did win initiative yet again. So we'll kind of keep trundling along for right now. How long do you think that Battle Master is going to last on its own right there? I don't actually care. I just think it'll be interesting to see how long it actually lasts. Yeah, the map generation is pretty phenomenal. I mean, there are a lot of the maps. I can't remember what it is. It's something like only 20% of the maps are randomly generated by MegaMek. I can't remember where I read that. It was something along those lines. And then the other, like 80%, are actually either user generated or standard maps. And so a lot of these are actually user generated maps that get utilized. All right, it's an 8 on the Power Man. Oh, yeah. Or it could be a 4 to hit there. I really want to get the Power Man, though. And all it takes is 1. It just takes 1. You might be right. Maybe that's where I saw it. I don't remember exactly what it is, but it was somewhere along those lines, I think. I've been wrong before. All right, we'll go ahead and do both of our ER larges. We'll only go over on heat by 1. ERPPC going towards the Orion as well as an LRM. We'll cool down a little bit and just do 1 PPC. And then otherwise, here's to hoping. Oh, is it 20% user generated? I had it reversed. My bad. But yeah, whenever it's a map like this that actually has, like, this seems purpose built. This seems like it was something that somebody made. Whenever I see something like this, it makes me more inclined to believe that this is a user created map or a standard map of some flavor that I've just never seen before. Oh yeah, that could be a lot of fun. Well, hey, all you have to do is learn Java, and then you can add to the wonders of MegaMek and MekHQ. That's all you have to do. Just learn a little Java. Awesome gets hit by a couple things, taking a damage to the center torso on the left leg. The Awesome smacks the Power Man with an ERPPC. Critting on the right torso, critting on the cargo. It's down to 6 internal structure. The light flak turret smacks the Awesome, doing a damage to the right torso and the left arm. The Wolverine hits the Orion with both of the ER larges, hitting the left torso and the left leg. The light missile turret misses. Medium flak turret hits the Awesome, doing a damage to the left arm and 1 damage to the left torso. They're just like sitting here scratching up the paint, man. Then also does the damage to the left torso, right leg, center torso, and the left leg. And then the Vindicator puts all 5 of its LRM missiles into the right torso of the Orion. The heavy missile turret puts 4 damage into the left torso of our Awesome. Marauder misses. The Awesome takes another damage to the left arm, 1 to the left leg, another to the left leg, and then 3 more to the right leg. I think we're well over 20 damage, though. You are 99% of the way to thinking about potentially learning Java. Orion hits the Wolverine with 9 of its 15 LRMs, doing 5 damage to the right torso and 4 damage to the right leg. Battlemaster hits the Powerman in the right torso, destroying the right torso, blowing off the right arm, and transferring 4 damage to the center torso. So the Awesome took 20 damage, stays standing. Powerman took 20 damage, falls onto its right side, doing 5 damage to the right leg. But the pilot avoids taking damage. It needs to make a piloting check to, avoid the engine exploding, and he succeeds. And then the Orion stays standing. Enemy archers at 5 heat. Everybody else is at 2 or less. And then, hold on, wait. Oh, good. So he did not avoid a critical due to falling 1 level, and he crits on his medium laser. Oh, good. And the geysers in all of these hexes are erupting and subsiding. Neato. I toyed around with some C way back when, but that was a while ago. We won initiative, which is great. Our allies are going to be joining us in 2 turns. And if you're asking yourself, are you just going to be like sacrificing your allies to all the turrets? Yes. Yes, I am. That is 100% my plan. We can do that. That'll give us partial cover, which would be neat. So the Power Man did manage to get up. Is he running away? Yeah, he's running away. As one is wont to do. We'll go ahead and rotate our Awesome. All right, to shoot the Orion or the Panther. Kind of want to shoot the Panther, and I think it's worth getting warm for. So we're going to get warm. Just a little toasty, not too toasty, just a little. We'll get a little toasty on the Wolverine as well and put a whole bunch of stuff, the 2 ER larges at least, into the Orion, I hope. The Vindicator can also put an ERPPC and an LRM. It's just, it's hilarious to me that this thing has 15 double heat sinks, so it can sink 30 heat, and the most that it can generate, the absolute most that it can generate, is 2 for running, and then, 15, 17, 21 heat. So the most heat it can generate is 23 heat. It can only generate 23 heat on a bad day. But it's got enough to sink 30. It's just hilarious. So why don't we just, have the Vindicator and the Awesome hold hands, then the Vindicator can sink some of the Awesome's heat for it. That would work, right? That's how it works. Sharing is caring. Yeah, no. Okay. So a PPC and an SRM. Ooh, acid or a tandem charge? I think acid. We'll do acid. If I knew that dude was carrying tandem charged SRM ammo, I would have had him charged straight at those mechs just for funsies. So the Awesome only hits with one of the ERPPCs, hitting the left arm. This dude has like no armor left in his center torso or either one of his arms. The light flak turret hits the Wolverine, doing 1 damage to center torso and then 1 damage to the right torso. Light flak turret firing at the Battlemaster does 1 damage to the left torso and 1 damage to the left arm. The Panther misses. Our Wolverine hits with both of the ER large lasers against the Orion, hitting the center torso and the left arm. The medium flak turret firing at the Wolverine puts 1 damage to the left torso. Light flak turret misses. The Vindicator hits with the ER PPC and the LRM into the Orion, doing 10 damage to the right arm and 3 damage to the center torso. Light missile turret misses. Orion firing at the Wolverine hits with the AC-10 going into the left leg. Man, I was really hoping he was behind cover, but I was mistaken. Because of elevation. That's how that works. Geography is hard. Medium laser into the center torso and misses with everything else. The Archer, oh no. Oh no. That's bad. Friends, that's bad. That was a magic LRM 20 hit. So 12 swarm missiles hit the Wolverine, does 5 damage to the right torso, would have hit the head, rerolls with edge. Instead, goes into the center torso, critting through armor, hits 3 locations, and rolls 3 hits on the engine. The engine is destroyed. That edge did not help me one bit. I would have much rather taken 5 damage to the head. Oh no. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, well, we're putting a new engine into the Wolverine. That feels bad. That feels bad. Okay, we're just gonna take a quick little screenshot of this because that earned it. Oh, I'm crying a little bit right now on the inside and the outside. You were, in fact, a friend. Well, it's okay. We'll recover it. We just have to put a new engine into it. Like it's a lightly used model, ready for a new owner. Just a little TLC is needed, like a new engine. Anyways, the Battlemaster takes a single hit to the left arm. I'm trying to get over that, man. Remember how I said that I had those games where like my best pilot got killed, like stuff like that happened. Anyways, LRM hits the Wolverine. Doesn't really matter. It's true. At least the engine didn't explode. That would have been really upsetting. The Battlemaster hits the Power Man with a PPC, critting on the cargo, critting on the left torso. Then we hit with acid head missiles. Do 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the right leg, critting on the foot and the lower leg. 3 damage to the left arm, 2 damage to the right arm, 2 damage to the right torso, and 2 damage to 2 damage to the right arm, which transfers to the right torso that doesn't exist, so it transfers to the center torso. Oof. So the Power Man falls on its front, and does 5 more damage to the center torso. It does not explode instantly. The Orion stays standing. Then the Battlemaster will skip its attack. And then Power Man takes a crit on the right leg, critting on the hip and the upper leg. Yeah. Speak of tandem charge and you will be rewarded with through armor crits. I should have known. But I didn't even shoot them. I didn't even fire the tandem charge. I saved those. I saved them. I didn't hurt the bunny. Okay. We won initiative. Our friends will arrive next round. The Power Man ejected. All right. Well, a tear shed for those lost. But, at least with tandem charge missiles, they have a -2 modifier on each of those missiles. So you can't get a 12. Like, it can't roll an 11. It can't roll a 12. So there's that anyways. It's not much, but it's something. Oh, hey, give me 1 second, guys. I'll be back in about 30 seconds. Okay, let's go ahead and get back to it. Now then, what to do? I think we're just going to back on up. It's not that these guys actually end up doing very much damage. It's just more annoying than anything else when they shoot at you. But we can take 1 step forward and then start just kicking the walls with the Battlemaster. You know what? It's fine. It's totally fine. This will be fine. Nothing could possibly go wrong. All right, so yeah, the power band fell, took a hit on the gyro, and then, long story short, ejected. All right, so the Awesome can keep on working on the Panther. It's still a 6 to hit, so we'll just put 2 PPCs into him. Now let's cool down this turn. The Vindicator can keep on working on the happy little Orion, putting a PPC and an LRM his way. And then the Marauder can also work on the Orion. What does that do to us? 6 over? We can go 6 over. That'll be fine. What's the point of having a Marauder if you don't get warm? So put 2 machine guns because they're free, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. That should be fine. We'll do all that. All right, the flak hits the Marauder, doing 1 damage to the left torso. Urban Mech fires an AC-10 at the Battlemaster, hitting the left leg. But it was behind cover, so the Urban Mech shoots its own building instead. Neato. The Awesome hits with 1 and 2 PPCs, putting in round into the right leg and the right arm, destroying the right arm of the Panther, which transfers 4 damage to the right torso. It's down to 6 armor. The Marauder does not take damage from the light flak turret. Medium flak turret. Okay. Takes a total of 2 damage to the center torso. Would have taken 2 crits, but no effect on those. And then 1 damage to center torso. 1 damage to center torso of the Battlemaster. The Vindicator misses with the PPC and the LRM. Panther firing at the Marauder missed. Light flak turret against the Battlemaster does 1 damage to the left torso. And then would have shot the Battlemaster, but instead shoots the building. Then 1 damage into the left torso of the Battlemaster. Light missile turret does 2 damage to the left arm of the Battlemaster, 2 damage to the right leg, 5 damage to the right leg, and misses with the LRM. Heavy flak turret firing at the Marauder does 1 damage to the right arm, misses with everything else. Marauder missed with everything. The Orion hits the Marauder with its flak rounds, doing 3 damage to the left arm. Archer, God, I need to kill that Archer. It is not my friend right now. Hits the Marauder with 12 swarm missiles, doing 5 damage to center torso, 5 damage to the left torso, and 2 damage to the left leg. And then 8 missiles continue, doing 5 damage to the right arm of the Vindicator. I think that we just need to completely unload on that archer next round. Light bombard turret misses. Heavy missile turret hits the Marauder with 4 LRM missiles doing 4 damage to the center torso. The Battlemaster hits. Just with everything, it hits because it's standing right next to it. So it ends up doing about 30 damage. 40 damage or so, 45, somewhere in that neighborhood. The Panther stays standing and the Marauder stays standing. All right, Battlemaster. It doesn't really matter which one you kick. So kick. All right, one of the Longbow 2 autocannons jammed, which is neat, and it's down to 56. So next turn it should be dead. Archer's at 5 heat, Marauders at 6 heat, Orion's at 2, everybody else is at 0. The Wolverine is definitely at 0 heat because it's still dead. It's fine, I'm not bitter. And our friends have arrived. Well, that's a strong choice. I think the archer heard that I wanted to hurt it, and so it came out to help me. I'm just guessing. All right, with all that being said, I will survive with 7s on the PPCs. That's fine. But the archer needs to die. I will burn the ammo happily. Okay, and so we'll unload everything except for a PPC into the building. All of our friends will help us as well. Oh, that was not nice. The rifleman targeted the pilot. Oof. Oh, man. Anyways. Urban Mech missed. Awesome. Hits with only 1 PPC into the left arm of the archer. The light flak turret hits the Warhammer with 1 damage to the left arm, 1 damage to the left torso. Light flak turret does 1 damage to the right arm with the Warhammer. Vindicator firing hits with the ERPPC into the archer's right arm. And medium pulse laser into the left leg of the archer. Missed the LRM, not surprisingly. Light flak turret against the Battlemaster does 1 damage to the left arm, 1 damage to the left torso, 1 damage to the left arm, and 1 damage to the right arm. The light missile turret firing against the Warhammer does 3 damage to the left arm, 4 damage to the right torso. Medium flak turret firing on the Warhammer does some more damage. Orion misses. Marauder hits with a medium laser against the archer into the right torso, AC5 into the right leg, and a PPC into the center torso of that archer. It's at like 30 or 35 damage now, which is neat. The archer misses with everything, thankfully, but it's just medium lasers. Light bombard turret misses. Heavy missile turret hits the Marauder in the head, doing 3 damage to the head. The pilot takes 1 damage. The heavy flak turret hits the Warhammer a few times, and the Battlemaster just beats the crap out of a building. The archer took 40 damage, falls onto its rear, doing 5 damage to the right leg and 3 damage to the rear left torso. The pilot avoids taking damage, and then the Warhammer stays standing. And then we kick the building. Unfortunately, it's going to stay standing because it's at 3 CF, but crew is killed, which is great. So the Awesome is at 7 heat. Our Marauder is at 8 heat. Everybody is warm. We do win initiative. think the archer wants me to kick him, which I'm not going to say no to. All right, we'll put a couple of ERPPCs towards that Panther on a 6. The Vindicator can do an ERPPC. Well, we'll go ahead and twist. We'll twist. So why don't we do this? It'd be a 4, or we can do LRM at the Panther for a 5. We'll do that, and we'll do secondary target of the Archer, which means it's a 5 and a 3 to hit. Then we can do a medium laser, and AC 5, which puts this one over on heat, lets us cool down a little bit finally with that Marauder. And then the Battlemaster can do things. It can get a little warm. That'll be fine. All right, so the medium flak turret firing at the Warhammer hits it a few times. The Awesome hits with one of the PPCs into the left torso of the Panther. This dude has like no armor left. He's down to 0 armor in the left torso. Miss with the other PPC. Light flak turret against the Warhammer hits it. Rifleman against the Panther misses. The light flak turret against the Battlemaster does really nothing except for 1 damage to the right torso. Our Vindicator hits the Panther with 2 missiles, doing 2 damage to the right torso. And then the ERPPC hits the right arm of the Archer, and the medium pulse laser hits the left arm of the Archer. The Urban Mech missed. The Power Man hits the Battlemaster with some Deadfire SRM ammo, doing 3 damage to the right torso. The Marauder hits the Archer with a couple of medium lasers in the right torso and the right leg. Heavy flak turret hits the Warhammer some more. Light bombard turret misses. The Warhammer firing at the Orion. Oof. Hits the right torso with a PPC, critting on the AC-10. That's down to internal structure only. The heavy missile turret firing at the Battlemaster hits a couple of times. The Battlemaster just, pummels a building. And then the Orion firing at the Marauder hits with the flak AC-10, doing 5 damage to the center torso, another 1 damage to the center torso. Fortunately, it did not really crit on the center torso. And then medium laser goes into the right torso of the Marauder. The light flak, so a couple of flak turrets were destroyed because a building collapsed, and that's it. Everybody stay standing. We're still going to kick the Archer because we have no choice but to kick an Archer. And then we're going to kick a building because it deserved it. It looked at us weird. So the Vindicator kicks the Archer in the left leg. It's down to 11 armor. Marauder kicks the Archer in the left leg. It's down to 11 internal structure. The Archer kicks the Vindicator in the right leg. It's down to 4 armor. The Battlemaster kicks a building. The Archer falls onto its front, doing 5 damage to the right torso, 3 damage to the left leg, critting with no effect on the left leg. The pilot avoids damage, and the Vindicator stays standing. Everybody cools down pretty nicely except for the Battlemaster, now at 6 heat. And that's it for that turn. So the Op 4 is still at 5 out of its 6 units. I think we had to destroy, 75%? Was that right? Yeah, 75% of the Op 4. Okay. So the Battlemaster can stay exactly where it is. The Orion is a lot less of a threat now with the AC-10 gone. It just has medium lasers. And it has some SRM Deadfire. But it's really not too much of a threat. And this thing, it's out of LRM ammo, which is probably why it closed the distance like it did. So we'll go ahead and move the Marauder into kind of a a vulnerable position. I don't think the archer is probably going to be able to stand up, honestly. I could be wrong. And then he could go to a place for me to kick his head, which is fine. I'm okay with this too. So we'll shoot the Panther a couple of times. Actually, hold on. Let's start off with the Battlemaster. So we will unleash some pain onto a building because, you know, hurting buildings is fun. The Marauder can put a PPC as well as a couple a medium laser and an AC5 into the Panther, I hope. The Marauder can put Streak SRM, a couple of PPCs, another Streak, and a pulse laser, medium pulse laser into an Archer. And then last but not least, I don't think that Panther is going to be standing after this. So we're going to go ahead and help out with the Orion and put an ER PPC into him. But the medium pulse laser can go into the Archer, who unfortunately fell. The Rifleman firing at the Orion hits with an AC5, critting on the right torso. AC5, second AC5 would have hit, but it's behind partial cover and misses. The Battlemaster just pummels a building. The Power Man firing at the Battlemaster does 3 damage to the left torso, 3 damage to the right arm, 3 damage to the right arm. The light flak turret hits the Warhammer. The Marauder hits the Panther with a PPC in the right arm that transfers to the right torso. It's down to 2 internal structure, and we crit on a heat sink. We miss with a medium laser. The AC5 goes into the left torso. It's down to 3 internal structure. Why? Why are you still standing, bud? Okay, so the light flak turret into the Battlemaster doesn't do anything. The Warhammer firing at the Orion hits with a PPC into the left torso. It's down to 4 armor. The medium flak turret into the Warhammer does some damage. Awesome firing at the Archer. Hits with the Streak 2, doing 2 damage to the right leg, 2 damage to the center torso. Then puts an ER PPC into the left leg, destroying the left leg, and then transferring 2 damage to the left torso. We missed at point blank range with an ER PPC, needing a 4, rolling a 2. Streak 2 hits with 2 more missiles, doing 2 damage to the right torso and 2 damage to the right torso. Medium pulse laser into the right arm is down to 7 internal structure. The Panther firing at the Marauder missed. The Orion firing at the Marauder missed. The Archer firing at the Marauder hits with a medium laser into the right torso, only doing 2 damage though. Light bombard turret missed. Vindicator firing into the Orion hits with the ERPPC into the right arm, and 2 of the 5 LRMs hit into the center torso. The medium pulse laser hits the right leg of the Archer. Heavy missile turret hits the Rifleman. Then the heavy flak turret hits the Warhammer a few times. So overall, the Orion took 20 damage, fell down onto its rear, taking 5 damage to the rear right torso and 5 damage to the right, or 4 damage to the right arm. The pilot also takes 1 point of damage. The Archer automatically falls after losing a leg, falling onto his front, doing 5 damage to the left torso and 3 damage to the right leg. That pilot also takes 1 point of damage. The Warhammer does manage to stay standing. Whew. All right. This is not going to be enough to destroy the building, but we're going to be making our way there. Down to 13 of its CF. Then we'll lose initiative by 1. The horror. All right, so we'll go ahead and move down into the ditch so we can stare at an Archer while it's lying on the ground. We'll go ahead and move the Awesome up so it can hopefully deal with the Panther in a little bit more. Oh, that's not what I wanted. know, what I really should be doing is just shooting at that power man. I didn't even think about that. So the archer fell, did 5 damage to the left torso and 3 damage to the right leg. Pilot also took 1 more hit. The Orion did manage to get up. And then the Victor did some jumping. Okay, so with all that being said and done, why don't we focus on the Orion, and we'll put 3 ERPPCs into the Orion on a 3. I really hope that we can hit on a 3. If we can't, I'm just going to be very sad. Very, very sad. So I'll put the PPC and a medium pulse laser into the Archer, and then we'll yeet some LRMs at the Orion for funsies. The Marauder can put a medium laser and a medium laser and AC5. And for fun, a PPC into the back of a Panther. He's probably going to miss some of those, but that's okay. And then the Battle Master. Yeah. Wait. Can you? You can. Okay, so the Battle Master can throw a PPC at the Power Man, and then I'm doing it. We're going to launch some tandem charge at a Power Man, the poor little guy, and a medium laser just for kicks. Okay, so the Rifleman shoots the Power Man in the left arm with the medium laser. It's down to 0 armor there. The medium flak turret hurts the Warhammer a little bit. Awesome. Firing at the Orion. Hits with all 3, putting 10 damage into the right leg, 10 damage into the left leg, and 10 damage into the left arm. The Power Man misses the Battle Master. The Vindicator, firing at the Archer, shoots him in the head with an ERPPC, doing 10 damage. It's down to 2 internal structure. The pilot has taken 3 hits, but does stay conscious. The medium pulse laser into the right arm. It's down to 1 internal structure. And then the LRM-5 into the Orion, doing 3 damage to the right torso. It's down to 2 internal structure. Light flak turret of the Marauder missed. The Warhammer, firing at the Orion, hits the right arm and the right leg with PPCs. The light flak turret firing at the Warhammer hits it. Warhammer firing at the Panther, miss with the medium laser. Hits with the medium laser into the left arm. It's down to 1 internal structure. AC5 hits the rear center torso, and the PPC hits the left rear torso, destroying that section, blowing off the left arm, transferring 2 to the center torso rear. It's down to 0 armor. The heavy flak turret does against the Marauder, does 1 point of damage to the left arm, and then 2 to the right torso. Orion firing at the Awesome hits with a medium laser into the right leg. The Battle Master shoots the Power Man with a PPC into the right torso, critting on the cargo, and then the SRM-6 hits with all 6 tandem charged missiles. So it does 2 damage to the left arm, critting on the lower arm, 2 damage to the left leg, not critting, 2 damage to the left arm, critting on the upper arm, 2 damage to the right leg, critting on the foot, 2 damage to the right leg, and 2 damage to the right torso, then a medium laser into the right leg. Yeah. I don't think it counts as through armor critting when there's no armor there to go through. I kind of feel bad, but not really. The heavy missile turret does things to the Warhammer, including shooting it in the head. The Panther falls, doing 5 damage to center torso or rear. It's down to 6 internal structure. The pilot avoids taking damage. Orion also falls, doing 5 damage to the right leg and 4 damage to the rear center torso. And then that pilot avoids damage. The Power Man falls, does 5 damage to the center torso, rear. It's down to 8 internal structure. That pilot avoids taking damage and then does not just instantly explode, which is neat for him. The Warhammer stays standing. So we'll kick our friends. I'll look in a second, but not much. So the Archer gets kicked by the Vindicator, destroying the right arm, transferring 8 to the right torso. It's down to 12 internal structure. The Marauder just kicks straight through the center torso. The Battlemaster collapses the building. Okay, so that Power Man... we lost initiative. That's okay. Okay, so that poor little Power Man. It has some armor. Some. It has some. It doesn't have anything on the right torso and nothing on the left arm or the right leg, and the left leg is also barely covered, and the rear center torso also doesn't have anything, but it still has some armor in some places. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Yeah. I almost feel bad, but not bad enough to not do it. Oh, good. So the archer ejected, which is nice. I think we have to destroy one more mech, and then we meet our objective. So yeah, the archer ejected. That poor little Power Man. Falls, critting on his gyro and his engine, and then crits on his engine again. Barely avoids exploding. Pilot takes a hit. And then he ejects. Okay. Hold on. So that was 3 more mechs that just went down. So that puts them down to 33% left. Yeah, we need to destroy one more. And really what we need to do now is destroy the Orion before it can kick the Marauder in the head. Because that's what's about to happen, is he's about to kick the Marauder in the head. So we'll go 8 over on heat. It'll be fine. Don't ask questions. And, you know, we're going to be pretty much done this turn, so might as well go a little over on heat. Not 10 over, but over on heat. Okay, so the rifleman firing at the Urban Mech and the Orion missed. The light flak turret missed. The Awesome firing at the Orion hits with the Streak 2. Hitting center torso twice. So 2 damage center torso, 2 damage center torso. ERPPC into the right torso, destroys the right torso, transferring the center torso, critting on the AC-10 that was already critted on. That's down to 11 armor. ERPPC into the right torso, that transfers the center torso is down to 1 armor. Then into the left armor, critting on 3 locations. Thank goodness there was no LRM-15 ammo there, because we critted on the ammo and both the LRM-15s. Then the Streak 2 goes into the right arm, right torso, and center torso. And then also, Streak 2 goes into the right arm, that transfers to the right torso, that transfers to the center torso. Same thing happens again, 2 more damage to the center torso, critting on the engine and the gyro. And then the small pulse laser into the center torso, critting with no effect. Light bombard turret into the Victor misses. Victor hits the Urban Mech with a medium laser. The heavy missile turret hits the Warhammer a few times. The Vindicator hits the Orion in the center torso with the ERPPC. It's down to 7 internal structure. The Warhammer hitting the Orion in the right leg, critting on the lower leg and the hip. The Marauder hitting the right torso, which transfers to the center torso. It's down to 2 internal structure. The Orion hits the Marauder in the right arm with a medium laser, and then hits with 2 Deadfire SRMs into the center torso and the right arm. The Battle Master kicks a building, or shoots a building. The medium flak turret shoots the Warhammer. The Orion falls, not surprisingly, because it only needed to roll a 14. Only needed to roll a 14. Takes 5 damage to the right leg. It's down to... its center torso got demolished, so it's dead. Sad day for you. All right. / victory. Done. Now it's just a poor, lonely urban mech standing there going, but what do I do? Do I run away? Yes, buddy, you run away and you hope for the best. Whoops, not that one. That one. All right, and that was that. That made me so sad. So very, very sad. That poor little Wolverine. Tear shed for those lost. I mean, again, we should be able to just throw a new engine into it, but it's going to take a while. Those parts will take weeks to get here. Yeah. Like, look, just... We still had armor over everything. But alas, no. Just 3 engine hits because, you know, it's an XL engine. So, of course, naturally, it just has... If you crit on the center torso, it's an automatic engine crit. Okay, next. Salvage. What do you mean the urban mech was crippled? How was it crippled? Oh, because it didn't have any ammo. It was crippled because it had no ammo. It's fine, it ran away. So it sounds weird. I always say that any of the turrets that weren't really damaged do escape, mostly because I'm not going to drag them away. I don't drag turrets away with salvage anyway, so it doesn't matter. So the Orion, we can give that... Well, actually, no. The Orion was when it fell. We'll give that to our Marauder. The Archer can go to the Vindicator. And then both of the Powermens went to our buddy, the Panther. Okay, good. That should be everything. Next. So this, I just don't like having red. We did preserve at least a few of these. And then that's it. All right, finish up. Understood. All right. And with all of that being said and done, we can do heavy recovery vehicle. Nope, that's not quite enough. Wolverine can help. The heavy flak turret will skip. The Panther we can grab. Powermen we can grab. Powermen we can also grab. And... cool. There's that. The Archer is repairable. So we'll nab... No! We go over the horror. The Panther, did he eject? No. No, we hurt that Panther in a really bad way. The Orion is also not repairable. You know, we'll just call that good. We'll save up some of our salvage percentage, and if we have any more fights, then we'll get things. uptight, wounded in battle. Let's see how bad he got hurt. I'm really hoping it wasn't super bad, but I'm not feeling... Okay, he just has some rib fractures. So he's down for... He's not going to have any negative effects, really. It's just he fractured his ribs. This is good. This is very good. Cool. And for all of this, we can optimize assignments. Good deal. Advance 1 day. Okay, we'll use our units resupply. We'll do a balanced. Get some AC-10 ammo, small pulse laser. Ooh, that'll be nice. So, ooh, and a large pulse laser. Heck yeah, man. This is a good deal. Let's go ahead and accept that. Had some stuff arrive as well. We were able to reattach a Griffin arm. All that is great. Okay, cool. Just so I don't forget to do it next time, we'll repair a couple of these bad boys. Boop. Warhammer is stuck. Crusader is stuck. And the Guillotine is also stuck. Cool. So we're probably going to go ahead and stop it there for the night. I do have to go to work in the morning. So we will pick it up here again on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Central Time. We'll get going then. We'll stream for another couple of hours. Something tells me that this contract will not be lasting for much longer. I'm guessing that the next month they are probably going to be routed and we are going to be in the clear. But anyways, I hope that everybody has enjoyed this stream tonight. If you haven't already and you haven't done it before, I would really appreciate if you would follow the stream. If you're watching this later, go ahead and hit follow on the stream. If you are watching later on the YouTubes, then just go ahead and subscribe to the channel or like the video, leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Anyways, we will catch you all next time. I hope that you all stay safe, and we'll see you around. Take it easy.